Angry guy here, and women are shocked they are at the mercy of the world without men. Women are shocked they are at the mercy of the world without men. So I have this article. Many of you may have heard about this. Something happened over in Africa. Over 400 people have been found unalive, allegedly connected to a cult. And this is just unbelievable stuff. As you can see, there's a forensic CSI guy doing his thing. Authorities in Kenya have exhumed the deceased remains of over 400 people that are said to have passed away in connection to a cult. Officials in the area told the Associated Press that they believe all of the victims to be followers of the cult in the coastal town of Malindi, led by a local pastor named Paul McKenzie. This sounds like an American, by the way. This doesn't sound like an African name, who allegedly ordered them to fast until they unalived in order to meet Jesus. Guys, you remember when I told you to stay out of the church? And there were those of you in the comments that were like, "No, angry, you don't know what you're talking about." And I said that no, you're just going there for community and entertainment, because a lot of you like that. A lot of you like that gossip. All right, because a lot of you are gossip girls. I told you to stay out of the church. You know Jesus is in there. You know that you don't belong there. All right, because if you know God for yourself, then you know that you don't have any business in the church right now. I told you the church was compromised. Some of y'all are there watching right now, talking about angry. It's not all of them. It's not all of them. But let's get back to it. McKenzie has denied the allegations, previously telling CNN in June he has never seen anybody starving. Per the BBC, it said he also told the Kenyan Nation newspaper, "Is there a house, maybe, or an enclosure, or a fence somewhere that has been found at the farm where people might have been locked in?" This is just unbelievable. New developments in the story, which broke back in April of this year, came earlier this week when Coastal Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyancha told the outlet that an additional 12 remains were exhumed on Monday, July 17th, bringing the total number of those who have passed away in connection to the Good News International Church to 403. Oh my goodness. Of the 403 remains uncovered, pathologists said a majority were already in advanced states of decomposition, though Yansha noted that 253 of the remains had undergone DNA matching. Anyacha added that an additional 95 followers had been rescued, and detectives are still working to locate more more sites of remains, as some 613 people have been reported missing to Kenya Red Cross officers in Malindi. In May, relatives of those involved with the organization began speaking out. Stephen Mwiti, whose wife and six children joined the group and are possibly among those who passed away, told Reuters. He, referencing the pastor Mackenzie, told them to starve themselves ahead of the world's end on April 15th. Why does this sound like something out of the playbook of the Seventh day Adventists, who believed that back in the 1800s, God was going to return, or Jesus was going to return for his people? So they went up to a hill and they waited on that hill. And with each and every single passing day, more people came, but Jesus never came. And they called it the Great Disappointment. But they didn't stop there. Instead of learning their lesson, they went and founded the Seventh day Adventist Church. And to this day, they're still believing that God is coming each and every single day. Yeah, so let's continue on. He Mackenzie told them to starve themselves ahead of the world's end on April 15th, saying he would be at the last one and that he would lock the doors. Local hospital staff that spoke on the clause of anonymity also confirmed Mwiti's statement, telling Reuters that survivors described similar accounts. He, Mackenzie, had an elaborate plan of unaliving children, youths, and then adults, telling them he would be the last one to starve himself until he unalived. One recalled. While the search for the missing continues, AP reported that Mackenzie, along with 36 other suspects, are currently in police custody, but none of them have been charged. Kenya's president, William Ruto, said what transpired in Malindi was akin to a serious act of national security and vowed to crack down on those using religion to advance their heinous acts. It is believed that Mackenzie moved to the forested part of Malindi in 2019 after his church was closed over the pastor's preachings, which is said to have included asking children not to go to school. He was also previously arrested and released on bond over the disappearance of children per AP Associated Press. So guys, this is what I'm talking about. And by the way, if you're enjoying this content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications to never miss another video again, and like the video because it tells YouTube you enjoy the content, you want to see more of it, so they will show you more of it. But I've said this, guys, I've said this countless times that, women are at the mercy of the world without men. And it's when good men sit back and do nothing that heinous acts like this can absolutely happen in various regions of the world. It's up to men to be that moral compass, and it's up to men to always investigate and to say no. There were a ton of men that could have stopped this before it happened, but they did not. And this is what happens. This is how the saying goes. Strong men, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and boy, oh boy, do weak men create hard times. All right. And that's what we're basically headed for. And this is a perfect example of this. This is the result of weak men not stepping up to the plate, not saying, you know what, something doesn't seem right. I think we should do something about it. I think we should say no. Maybe we should go to the police. Maybe we should take our families and leave, And you might say, well, they were afraid. They didn't know what to do. All of them? Because it sounds like you had a couple hundred of them at least, or at least a couple dozen of them together. And you're telling me that these guys couldn't band together and escape? It doesn't make a lot of sense, all right? So for that many people to do this, for hundreds of people to unalive themselves by starving, that tells you that the men missed the ball. They allowed this to happen. They allowed evil to win. All right. And let me tell you what evil is. Evil is not Satan. Evil is a nature. Okay. There is good. There is evil. How is it that God created good, but God didn't create evil? How is it that we have heaven? God created heaven, but suddenly hell just manifested itself out of nowhere? Basically, either there is no hell or God created that too. All right. People need to wake up and realize that at the end of the day, it's up to the individual, it's up to the man who decides whether or not he wishes to do good in the world or bad in the world. Okay. There was evil before Lucifer threw his rebellion into heaven. Think about it. All right. Before he acted up, God didn't kick him out of heaven because he said he wanted to be God. God didn't kick him out of heaven because he said he wanted to be God. When he said he wanted to be God, God said, you know what? Listen, that's not possible. You can't be God. I'm God. And what did Lucifer do? He's like, nah, I'm not going to settle for that. I'm going to round the boys up and we're going to take this. And God had to just let him know. And he put him out. Doesn't mean that he doesn't still love him, but he wasn't going to tolerate that in there. All right. That's all there is to it. But let me make this very, very clear. Okay. Evil and evil intent existed long before human beings did. All right. Evil has been around before humans and it'll be around after humans. We didn't create it. All right. So, like I said, guys, when good men don't do anything, that's when evil reigns. Women, it's up to men. You can't expect women to stand up to injustice. That's the job of men. That's what men were put here for. And if we don't do our job, then things like this end up happening. You know, that's all there is to it. Hey everyone, I appreciate your support and feedback. If you want to show your gratitude, you can use the super thanks feature to tip me any amount you like. You'll also get a special comment that I can see and reply to. Or you can become a channel member using the join button and get exclusive perks like badges, emojis, live chats, and more. Your support helps me make more videos for you, so thank you and stay tuned for more. Women are shocked. They are at the mercy of the world without men. I want to know your thoughts on this. Let's talk about it more in the comments. You know what I think, but I want to hear what you think. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men are walking away. And cheers.